Good afternoon, everyone. Phil Simons here with Columbia Grain and your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, today is Friday, but we also had the monthly supply and demand numbers from the USDA come out here this morning. Realistically, I mean, the report was fairly muted, but let's go ahead and dive right into it and take a look at what the numbers gave us here today. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to navigate to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com. And over in the upper right-hand corner, if we navigate to the Producer Solutions link, and it'll take us to our Producer Solutions tab here. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what the December monthly supply and demand report actually gave us here. And realistically, there was really not too much to decipher out of this report. There's really little change with a few changes here and there. But when we take a look at the U.S. ending stocks for the 23-24 crop, we do see corn down just slightly, down to 2.1 billion bushels when we compare that to last month. So really just a little bit of a change there. Soybeans for the 23-24 crop, the ending stocks in the U.S. actually came out unchanged and really came in with in line with where the overall trade expectations had them pegged at here today. On wheat, all wheat anyway, we did come in at 658 million bushels there. So we were down about 4% from where we were last month, but we will dig into that a little bit here, and primarily coming from an increase in exports for soft red winter wheat, which we saw this week pretty much in style there. When we look at the ending stocks for the world ending stocks for 23-24, there was really no changes from last month, so really not anything to get too overly excited about there, and really market driving data here today. But let's go ahead and look a little bit closer here when we look at the individual balance sheets. And really for soybeans, when we look at soybeans, there was literally zero change from last month's report. So really no new data to really unearth there in the soybean complex. When we take a look at corn, there was a slight change month on month when we take a look at the U.S. balance sheet, and then also the ending stocks. The ending stocks numbers this month versus last month were actually down 25 million bushels. And the reason for the reduction was actually an increase in exports by 25 million bushels. So that's really where that increase in exports actually had a decrease in the overall carryout for the U.S. here for the 23-24 crop. And then when we take a look at wheat, again, similar fashion, we actually did increase exports slightly in one class, net by 25 million bushels, resulting in a decrease in the carryout or the ending stocks by 25 million bushels. But what we had seen earlier this week were some pretty significant export sales flashes of soft red winter wheat this week, which were totaled just over 1 million metric tons, so roughly about 36 million bushels that was sold to China. And we do see a little bit of an update here, on where the soft red is actually increasing the potential exports by 30 million bushels, which is resulting in a decrease of the ending stocks by 30 million bushels. And the other net change was actually an increase of ending stocks for soft white wheat because of a potential reduction of exports by another 5 million bushels. So definitely something to continue to monitor as we go forward and what the end results are going to be. And so really, when we take a look at the overall changes on the week and what the end results were, ranges were actually fairly good for wheat, especially. The wheat complex continues to get some news as those flashes were hitting the markets. But if we look at old crop, really for corn, the weekly range, we had a 12-cent range. The net change, when the dust settled here today, was up 2 cents. The weekly range for soybeans, old crop soybeans, we had a net weekly range of 38 cents, and the weekly change, we were down 20 cents there. When we turn the page and look at the wheat complex, Kansas wheat for old crop, we had a 35-cent range there, and we actually were able to hold on to 16 cents of that range. When we get over to Chicago, we actually had a 49-cent range, again, stemming really primarily from a lot of the export sales flashes that we saw here this week. But when the dust settled here today, we were only actually able to hold on to 29 cents of that overall range on the week. And in Minneapolis, we had a decent range of 25 cents, but when we settled here today, really the net change was really unchanged week on week. So again, just really trying to highlight the importance of having your orders out there working, because the volatility, right, as we continue to look at the markets, will potentially magnify as we go forward here, into the holiday mode here when we get into the tail end of the month. Then once we turn the calendar, we will start to look at the planning intentions, but that won't be until we get to the end of March. So again, just something to continue to monitor. Be sure to get your orders out there and working for cash contracts, hedge to arrives, basis contracts, and definitely be sure to take a look at our accumulator platform as well. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up for the week here. And remember, when the plate of cookies goes around the table, be sure to grab one. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.